Hey guys, welcome back. No. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm gonna do a overview of some of the trades I sent out to our signals group this week. In this case here, we're gonna look at Wednesdays and Thursdays trades on just EURUSD. We did send out some GU trades as well. I'll put those ones in a different video. Now, right off the bat, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you already haven't. There's going to be lots of good stuff coming on the channel. Yeah, let's get into it, guys. So, I just want to kind of show you what I'm looking at overall. At this point, what I had here was my last bullish range was down here. Price breaks out, it never really pulls back. So, one of two things is going to happen. A, price runs inefficient and continues on up, which it likes to do sometimes. Sometimes it'll do it, for a week or two before it decides to come rebalance. And scenario B is obviously price comes in here and then we wait for price to do some kind of sideways stuff and show us that it maybe wants to continue up. I did talk about what's probable coming up here for this week, so if you haven't watched the fundamental video, definitely check it out. I go into detail. As far as New York session, I'm really big on not reversing stuff if there's no need to reverse. So for me, all I really needed to do here was figure out which way the market was pushing and essentially just try and follow it. This is clearly a bullish day, not the nicest day. So this stuff here is kind of dangerous. The reason it's dangerous is if this gets made really fast, it usually gets taken out really fast. So that was the very first thing I noticed. The second thing that I noticed here is, let's actually rewind or fast forward to a time that's a little closer when I would be trading. All right, and I'm just looking at my trade journal to see exactly where I hopped in. So my first trade here was a loss. So I believe, what did I say? Okay, so we took one here. So we ended up taking a buy here, and I believe this is essentially just going with the push, and we're just trying not to reverse price. And price is really not at a level it should reverse. If it does, then I would expect price to do something like this. And in which case you would just turn around and change the bias. So I took a sell here. Obviously on the 1 minute entry was a little smaller. This guy here ended up getting stopped out. So, alright, so this guy here stopped us out. Now my bias here hasn't changed. All I'm really looking for is price to continue on up. Now, I was actually preferring price takes this liquidity level out to continue on up. It didn't do that. The reason I was willing to take this second position was we had something a little different on the DXY here. And where are we here? Wednesday. So on the DXY, let me see. On the DXY, I believe we had a valid reason to short. And I kind of have to show you guys this, otherwise it won't make sense. I'm just trying to piece together why we shorted. Or why we took a long on Euro, short on DXY. So our lit, I believe, so this would have been my lit, which is a continuation model. So in the DXY, we actually had a bit of a discrepancy. You can see the equals here. What I want to make note of is show you guys how the DXY did this. So I took this on Euro. Essentially, price came above, stopped me out. On the DXY, it never did. So Euro chart would look like this. DXY looks like that. You have a divergence basically at a lit level. This confirms our continuation. We get liquidity taken out, and all we need is something on the 1 minute to basically line up and show us that we can buy. So if we go back to Euro now, it'll make a little more sense. So we actually gotta rewind a bit. That's the crappy thing about doing it that way. So price stopped us out here. So this here, it's doing two things. We got our divergence. You took out liquidity. This isn't really the nicest way to take liquidity out. However, DXY is clean. Euro, like I said, should have taken this level out for a better setup. But because DXY gave us what it gave us, it validates a buy. So our second buy, I'm just going to look. What time? So looks like 750. Alright, so let's just fast forward to 750. Alright. So I imagine, knowing me, let's see, I imagine we looked for a trade somewhere in here. I'm just actually going to pull up my exact entry. Oh yeah, that's exactly it. So 3 bullish candles, cover the low. I'll show you how the targeting came to be after. And the targeting on this is just projections. And projections are always our pullback versus the expansion. So we TP'd at 617. And I'll show you guys how I got this. So this one stopped us out. I forget how big of a stop I took. I remember I was really mad about this because I think it did something like that and it just stopped us out. Because I'm usually pretty generous with my stops, like even this one. Okay. So as far as targeting, I always, this is lower time frame price action. So if I bought anywhere in here, I would have used this last pullback for targeting, and I would have TP'd here. So to show you guys how that works, I use projections. So if this is my last pullback, projection up, there's a few things here we don't actually need. Let's turn that off, we'll turn that off, we'll turn that off. Okay. So, you're always looking at your last sell range created. So these are your buy orders being stacked, and that's the actual impulse. And a good projection is always that 1.7 to 2 range. So if you don't know where to target, or TP's unclear, projections will always kind of paint a clear picture. So that's kind of what I do when I'm not sure what to target, just so I don't fly blindly. So with this same projection mentality here, I can do the exact same thing, and I usually don't hold to exactly to 2, because it only has to go to 1.7. If it comes to 2, it's nice. If it runs past 2, it's nice. But if the run's big enough, I'll even do something like this. This one here, we must have got some kind of trigger to close. So this one did end up hitting 2. And this was actually as high as price came to, by the way. So I imagine I closed on the first reaction. Yeah, so we threw up a liquidity wick. As soon as we took this liquidity wick out, I'm guessing, I'm guessing as soon as we took this wick out after a couple bullish candles, I just close. It doesn't really matter where you close, as long as you know that this is your range that you'll likely get a pullback. This one I was a little bit leery about, because what I'm actually looking for is this bearish pullback. I just, don't know when it's starting, so you don't want to be reversing PA. So that's the first one. Second one, I actually started out with a buy bias this day as well. So we took a hit on the buy. So I actually had a couple of areas I was interested in. Just trying to pull my notes up here. Okay. So, alright. So, there was an area on the DXY here that interested me. So this area of interest is of interest to me. Now, initially, so post news, I actually tried buying first. So I got induced here into the wrong side. So I was liquidity on this first one. Let's see, when did I enter? 538. So we took a hit here. Alright, so 538. So I don't have open risk for news. Alright, so 538. I believe we executed something here on the seconds. So it looks like I got in here. So right after we took the news high out, without going too deep into it, I would have likely targeted Asia highs, nearest liquidity. So this one ended up stopping me out as well. So I was still not ready to change my bias to sells here. So in hindsight, looking back on this, once this range failed, I thought about selling, but I wanted to, I guess I wanted to see what price action would do. So I should have started selling as soon as this broke. And then in my mind, I was like, well, it's really not, the next reactionary area is really not too far. So this should have been a sell here as soon as we get a body break. No body, so no sell yet. And that's your body break. So this would have been the sell. Stop would have been a bit bigger. I seen it. I decided to wait because I didn't totally rule out my buy bias yet. I needed to see more price action. So let's just go to the 5 minute here. We need to see a valid reaction. And there is your valid reaction. So the area I wanted to buy off completely got invalidated. To be completely honest, I thought about selling this and just breaking even and seeing what happens. But I told myself the chances of that not coming back and taking me out was pretty low. However, in this particular day, price blew right through. So I didn't take this sell. Soon as this happened, I completely switched my bias and I basically turned around and shorted this. So all I need to see here now is just a continuation. We broke through the POI. Anything to show us price wants to continue. So this is again just following momentum. It looks like I got in at 716. Okay. So let's just see. So we don't need this level anymore. It didn't hold. If I remember right, I think DXY had some conflicting thoughts for me why I shouldn't sell up here. I was a little bit bummed out on this one. So same thing as what I showed you guys up here. Any kind of breakout you can take. And I remember this one. So on my broker, this body broke here on Oanda. It did not. And where did we take it to? Let's see. Looks like we took it to 806. Wherever 806 is. 806. Alright. And what size was the stop? So we had a 6.2 pip stop. All right. So this was the trade itself. The reason I'm okay to execute this is just looking at our range to range interaction. Nothing's pulling back. If New York starts to sell like this based on fundamentals, this is PPI. Again, inflation came out higher than expected for the States. Usually when you get a push like this, it's just going to continue for the day. If it was going to reverse, it would have reversed at the POI I had above. So essentially we just waited for price to run there. I'm guessing if I close there, it's because DXY told us to close there. Let's just see. Oh, there was something on the lower time frame there. Oh yeah, I remember this. There was a news range in there we found from the ECB interest rates, so I targeted that. So that ended up being around 4R. So a loss on each day and a win on each day, which is pretty good. We took some trades on GU too. Overall, this week's been good. Our signals group hasn't had a losing day, I think, in like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks or something. So we've been having a good stretch. Some days, it was pretty slim pickings and nothing crazy, but no losing days and no losing days. So yeah, it's been a pretty good roll. I will make another one of these, show you some of the GU trades I took and some of the other trades we took this week as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you tune in to the next one and make sure you check out the fundamental video that went up with this one, as it drops a lot of clues of what I'll be looking at this week. Yeah, and probably midweek or end week, I'll drop the GU videos as well to show you guys the trades we took on that. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something. Enjoy the rest of your day.